Talking truth, lifting pressure. Every Tuesday, 10 to noon, we're holding space just for you. Say,
Good evening, Caribbean, Peter Martini, the rest of the Eastern Caribbean, Asia, Africa, Europe, all over the world. Good morning to you. Good morning to all our Take Five fans. And also good morning to Jester. And I think we have Ken online, so after that we'll continue. Good morning, Ken, and how are you?
Good morning to you and good morning to Jester. Okay for the time.
Good, good, good.
Good morning to you, Kenru.
Thanks for checking in very
Good
early.
morning.
Go right ahead.
I don't hear that.
I said, thanks for checking in early. Last week we had to make Jester pray last week because we wanted the house. Go right ahead, go right ahead. Oh, pray, Ken. Thank you. Oh, boy. Go right ahead.
I must say good morning to the nation of Grenada, Carriacou, and Matic, even the whole world this morning, Lord. I must give you thanks for myself and thanks for many others, especially those who cannot say thank you, Lord. I am thanking you for them this morning. Thanking you, Lord, for the morning rising sun. Thanking you for the midday good young shade. Thank you for everything you have done unto us this hour, Lord. Father, peace be on this spot. I go, peace, Lord, and all that there is. Let your known peace of God and let the manner of peace abide. Let us pray now come down and let the blessing take his place and son of peace. Receive my cry, fullness, Lord of the gospel ring. This morning, Lord, I bring the country before you. Remember Grenada and Johan, remember Carriacou, remember King Martinique, but and the whole world I bring before you this morning. Remember your children this morning. Father, pass by each and every one this hour, Lord. Remember the Prime Minister I bring before you. Remember ministers in your hand this hour, Lord. Remember the opposition party. Remember the ministers I bring before you, Lord. Father, draw you cutting and give everyone up it down. Wrap them of every bending side this hour, blessed Lord. Remember the entire force I bring before you. Pass by our police station. Remember those on duty and those out of duty. Remember the SSU. Remember the RRU. But remember all you children this hour, Lord. The sick and afflicted one, those on the hospital bed, miraculously mortal body. When it's day they cry for night, and when it's night they cry for day. But when thy kingdom come, oh Lord, remember them, Jesus. But I pass by every different home, including the prison and the rich man home. Pass by them this hour, Lord. Look down upon them, guide and protect them this hour. Remember the buses, the driver, the conductor, the passenger, and even the boat on the ocean, not forgetting the coast guard. This hour, blessed Lord. Remember our workers here and everywhere. But how without you, they cannot do anything of their own. Let them depend on you. Remember the mothers with the babies in their hand. Remember them this hour, blessed Lord. Guide and protect them this hour, Lord. Father God, what could I tell you? You say, oh Lord, how excellent is thy name in all thy earth. Father, we want to give you thanks. We want to praise you. Remember CJ, I bring before you. Remember Jester this hour, Lord. Remember all those who working on the radio station this hour. I cannot name them one by one, but master bind them together like one bond plastic that cannot be broken. Let one cry, give the other one cry. Teach them to love and to unite and to understand each other. Bless them, Lord. It might be small as a mustard seed, but share the blessing into each and every heart. My God and my King, as you tell the disciples to stay off, Father, which art in heaven, will be thy name, thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us days our daily bread and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from all evil. For there is the kingdom, the power, and the glory forever and ever. Amen and amen. Thank you, Lord. Thank you. Amen.
Thank you so much, Ken this morning.
Thank you, Kenru.
All
Jester is saying thank you.
what you want to say, you can pray.
Yes,
Don't
you're
bother.
telling me
Yeah,
I cannot pray.
Kenru. Kenru,
Oi,
you want to teach your cousin to pray?
yeah.
You want to teach your cousin to pray?
Yes, you pray, then you can pray.
Every day said I can pray. Just doesn't even run his mouth, so that's okay.
Well, has she proven that she
But
could pray, Kenru? Has she proven?
Don't hearing you pray, but you always hearing he pray.
Well, because I
So
asked
you
you
know
to.
who to pray.
No, because I asked you to pray. That's right. You know this for an ask.
Bye.
Don't worry, man.
Take care, Kendra.
Bye.
She go run to pray the,
Alright,
the
bye.
Take care.
reopening the
Bye-bye.
kingdom hall just now after that.
That's it. That's
Alright.
all right.
Mm. After the reopening of the kingdom hall.
So what you think? So what you say?
Oh God, I thank God for a lovely Tuesday morning. The sun is out in its brilliance. Yeah, today it's what?
Today's Tuesday, the 24th of June. We're almost at the end of June again. Just can you believe what time flies like, because just last week we were the 1st of June. Let me say good morning to those who already checked in online. We have Martin Klein saying good morning to you, Jester.
Morning
And
time.
all the listeners and viewers of Take 5 says have yourself a wonderful and productive day with all the God's richest blessing. And guess what checked in? If you tell me who checked in, I'll be giving you a preview. Who checked in?
I don't know. I
From
don't follow.
Toronto?
Oh, Mary.
Oh, yes. $5. That's a view $5. Yes. Mary has checked in. Good morning to you, Mary. Hope all is well. Good morning to you, Anne Marie. We also say good morning to Spice Ram out there in the Big Apple at 94.9 FM. You know it's FM. And we also say good morning to Mr. Williams out there broadcasting from the Grandy Tank area of 107.5. And Junior, that big guy on the hill up there just
Yeah, man.
he always, I don't know what I did to him, and honestly, I'm trying to figure that on stage. But you're the CJ. I'm not making joke with you. CJ, this and I'm doing like I said, what did I do? I'm going to tell you one of these days.
That look like family matters.
We don't have no family here. Yeah,
It's a family affair. It's a family affair.
I think what is jealous of me being so close to Mary and Mary's in Toronto and it's here. I think that's what it is. So, yeah. So we are Tuesday again, and today we are dealing with.
With silence.
I just want to agree with you. I just said silence.
Real silence is as loud as all the noise in the fish market, you know?
Yes. Good morning to Lorna Payne. She has checked in. She says good morning to all the Take 5 fans. And Jester, it's your turn to say buenos dias.
Yeah, well, good morning to my boy, Gordon Bushes, Richardson, Wynn, Ted, John, Andy, Moose Bartholomew, Alistair Aito Dubois, Mrs. Glean and family out there in Boston. The Hill Street people,
Yes.
Celia, I saw yesterday. She didn't see me. I didn't call her out.
Yes.
Nah, I don't think I could have handled the drama at the time where I was. But I saw, I don't know, always coming out in the bank.
Monday. Just do business for the like church business.
Yeah. Who else? Who else? Oh, Leslie Nicholas is here, man. He's here.
Boyfriend is
I was coming out from down Mount Alexander side yesterday, and I reached by like a traffic thing by Red Line shop there, and then person called out to me, and I turned to her, I said, Nico, and then you're in his commanding where just say you're the reverse. I said, Nico, I can't reverse no man. I'm busy. I was really busy in trip because I talked to you.
nice.
I said, don't worry, I know you're here. Yeah. You know.
So that's a good morning. Yeah.
Who else? Claire. Oh, there in my home.
Lisa.
Oh yeah. Miss Patricia, Miss Gladys. Oh, there in my days as well. Yeah. Who else is new? I feel there is somebody new. That's
When you find it along the way, you're gonna.
yeah, along the way.
Let me see. It's a permanent Abraham. Coffee in the morning, good morning to you. Daphne Gates and family out there in Toronto, good morning. Let's all say good morning to the Hill Street people in the chat. Sylvia, good morning. Bridget Lane. That's her. That's us. That's our Jester call us, Bridget. Cannot forget to that for that at all. Good morning, Olabati. Buongiorno to you. Good morning, NP. Lorna already checked in. Mary checked in. Good morning to Mr. Alvin Harris out there in the Big Apple. Duchess, good morning to you. Good morning to you, Mr. Nicholas Snag. Hope all is well. We already spoke to Kendall. Bandy, good morning. Good morning to Pat Pear, William Pear, and Cubby. Good morning to you all up there in the Carpet area. Good morning to SBW. Buddy at Horseshoe Lane, good morning. Miss Kathleen Ledlow, good morning to you. Boy Charles Alexander, good morning. Hope you're feeling better. Joycelyn Noel. Antonia Francois, good morning to you. And good morning to the university under the
Cashew tree.
university has
We had a nice time there last week, Wednesday. Oh my gosh.
Patrick Augustine Belfort. Good morning to Sherry and Sherry St. John Philip or there in Maryland. Good morning to Wendy in Toronto. Good morning to JG. I know that you're sailing right now. Safe sailing to you. Hope all is well. And I think that's it for now. So these are the people that have checked in so far. We are going to say good morning. So let's go. So under the cashew tree.
Yes, girl.
University.
Where,
People,
where you invited me to.
let me tell you all something. I didn't know my co-host could sing. I got in the
You better stop it, right?
last Wednesday at the arena. And I saw Silva. I said, Silva, what's going on, Silva? He's tuning up. She says, oh, we are tuning up for karaoke tonight. I said, we have karaoke tonight? She said, yes. So she says, come, we're going to seven. So she said, help me sing this song. So I helped her sing this song. They tune on everything, and I gone and do my workout with my ladies. She says, are you coming back? I said, what time? She says, I said, yeah, I'll come back. So I called my co-host there. I said, hey, they have karaoke at the University of the Country tonight. Come along. He says, what time? I says, 8 o'clock, but we can get there for 9. And I did show up before him because I said he's always late. And you all know with me at time. When I say 8, I mean kind of 8. You will get there 10 to 8 so that we are on time. But he, he's after this, he's going to kind of accept that about him now. Until I just had to blow against
Yeah, man, throw me under the bus, man.
I see it, so he cannot be alive.
Throw me under the bus. That's all.
And we had a ball of a time. It was good. But I asked him to sing a song with me and he refused them. He cannot hit that high note. And then I said, well, just sing the note, But he sang, let me see. Little Jenny. Oh, Jenny.
Okay, I just said it.
And let me see. Grindstone Cowboy. And let me tell you, he had the whole choir behind him singing Rhinestone Cowboy because we haven't heard that song for a long time. But then just, is that a mad, crazy young boy there? I don't know.
But he could sing.
He could sing.
He could sing.
Because he was there tuning up the same time. When I went to walk out, when I went to the arena, he was already there.
Yeah.
He and another guy, and the other guy could sing too, but the other guy sang, and he left, but he sang. And I said to him, I said, do you know Island in the Stream? He said, yeah. And I said, okay, we're going to sing the problem. When you were there, but he could sing. And he rolled my notes. So
he can sing.
It was really good. I mean, I enjoyed and they had it Friday night again.
Yeah, they had it. You went?
No. Because I was listening to him and he had some coming from because when we blow my way. But they said they had it Friday night. They had Tanya Long, they had roast pigs, they had all kind of stuff. That's all right.
So they had different mic system and everything.
I think they must have fixed the mic or another one. But I said that I'm okay.
They need cordless mic and
only coming for the singing. I don't want food really because
You stop it. I like chicken with it.
Chicken wing.
I thought you were in the for healthy.
No, it's because I was hungry then. Because I ate.
And asking everybody to serve you. Is here. What? Oh God.
Just one person and then serving everybody. So it was a blessing in disguise to you guys. But it was good. I enjoyed it. And I think they're going to have like every Friday night or so. So when you're passing and you're going down and play domino, make a pit stop and sing it.
Me go and play domino play. You don't see a lot of wrong thing anymore.
They take that when I'm play pool, make a pit stop, they sing your 2 songs and away you. Jester.
Yeah.
Was there supposed to be a game in the park there on Saturday or so?
They did not play because the referee failed to show up.
Oh, was it the referee? I thought the other team forfeited.
Let me somewhat adjust that statement. I don't know if eventually the referee came after, but because when I passed there, because the game was scheduled to start at 4 o'clock, right? And when I was coming from down that side, I thought, well, that football have already started, so I'll get a piece of it. When I stop off there, I realized, well, no game is playing. The teams are there or were there. and nothing's happening. When I do find out, they say that the officials have not shown up as yet.
Okay.
So I left because I have no time to waste. I had something to offload from the back of the van home, so I went up and I did that, and I chill out. I did not know Zila coming back here in that, so.
But they didn't know.
But I thought that maybe they must have showed up after, and the game eventually would have played. But when I find out from my little boy that's J1, because he was there, and he said that the game did not play at all.
That's all.
Say wow.
Because I saw the raised podium the day before.
Yeah.
They dropped it there. So I said, oh, there must be a big game coming because looking at that when they broadcasting, the cameraman came, he
Yeah.
set up all his stuff. So I said, okay, I was doing my stuff here. And then when I went back, the cameraman was not there on top of the podium and his car he was parking. So I said, either I didn't see the other team, but I saw the team in red. And I thought maybe the other team did not show up, so they may have forfeited the game. But you're telling me now is the official.
No, yeah. And the thing is, I do not know the reason why it had ended up in such a way, whether you just never know. It's good to get a reason for. However, what I can say, whenever there are scheduled matches, all right, and teams show up for it, and it did not happen. It's an extra cost on the association, because that is thing they will have to put up money to compensate the teams to.
Transportation and
Yeah.
everything.
So that sort of thing. So it's always and it creates a lot of inconvenience, son. So it's not a nice thing when scheduled games actually do not take place.
Okay.
Right. So it's
Yeah,
not,
and there was a lot of cars there. A lot of people came to look at the game, and then they all left because nothing happened there. So
yeah.
did you see you have a smoothie?
I saw that.
Okay.
Yeah. So Claire, before we start off, I just want to.
The condolences again?
Yes, I just want to express my deepest condolences to the Harley family of Shantimel and the passing of one popular name back then, of Rex Harley.
Rex Harley singer from
Oh,
1976.
yes.
He died.
He died. I think he died in some, yeah, I understand it have been in the state of Colorado. Yeah, I think it's around age 78. Yeah, and Rex was really, really instrumental back then for Magnificent Six. In fact, remember they went to Barbados and caught a 45. Yeah, with Dreading Apiary. And on the flip side, OC, my favorite. I used to abuse that song, I remember. And yeah, I've been filling with that information by Chris Mitchell, because she was the back vocalist. And if you're hearing that, her voice is like a cutting edge, like a dagger cutting through butter. I'm telling you, Grace, doing this, man, that was a class, eh? So from all indication, I understand is Rex put this song together. Lobo, I think, was dreading a PRA, I guess. And in the introduction of the song of OC, it's Popsy, he gone to the great beyond as well. So I say my deepest condolences to the Harley of Shantimel and the entire Shantimel community, because Rex was a real musician. He used to play guitar. Yeah. So, really and truly, that's
Every time you say give you a moment or whatever, I know somebody died.
yeah. Yes, All right. I was at this launch of Kaiso Bites on Saturday night, Deluxe Cinema, man. Deluxe Cinema.
Okay.
Yeah. Wasn't too bad. Well, I don't know. In this early stages, you expect to see or hear some of the calypso and making the little boss, because it's early stages. Yeah.
It's your easy. But
Most of them did one song. There's quite a lot of them, But there are some good calypso.
this year.
Yeah.
It's not about Roman woman this year, no?
No, well, that would have to go on the soca side.
Okay.
And it was good to see two artists that have been more noted for the soca coming into calypso. Yeah, that's really, really, really good. I know one is Little Jello, Yeah, it is from Chantilly. And I can't remember the
Is
next
he
one, but it was well done. They were impressive. I mean,
big, heavy guy?
yeah,
What do
you
you
have
call
a
him?
size.
They always call him because he was tiny and small, yeah, and all this kind of little
Yeah,
jelly.
very jello. Yeah,
I think I saw him at the Cameron Food Festival one time singing and said, I was calling little jello and he's a humongous guy in that kind of way.
yeah. And the last thing is a matter of concern to me, and not just me. I believe it will be for you as well. You see what's happening with our world leaders these days, man, and they will have the bombing of Iran, by Trump, the commander in chief, making that decision to to
You
to
know,
bomb
but
some.
he eventually I know it's these things are happening, like I have the control.
Yeah,
But when you go leave your place, I leave my house and I go bomb in Riverside and I tell you do not retaliate. I keep my mouth shut and just ask for peace. How is that? What is that?
it's truly amazing. You're saying that. It's like you're my little boy. Yeah, yeah. But
You know?
is it? No, them joking. Iran and them is president. They're joking.
The thing is, they did that, but they do not know the repercussions of what's
Exactly.
to follow.
Yeah.
Because these people do not joke.
And they fight they work quite differently.
Silently.
Yeah, look at what happened with the Trade Center. Yeah, really, really painful. Yeah.
They're not afraid to die. They just
No, yeah,
to themselves
because they believe when they die they will come back to life again. Yeah, yeah.
So I and if you think and he's boasting like he eradicate them and he do
Yeah.
stuff.
What does the money use? The sites now have been obliterated. Yeah, it means been wiped out.
But
Right.
I don't think look, me as I'm a stupid where these things are concerned, right? But you're gonna tell me I know I'm facing threats by the United States and places and keep all my stuff in one place.
That's the next thing.
It's not like the stuff but the bomb a whole that was there empty. Who knows? But it just let's not go there. It's because
Anyhow, it is what it is. But I'm just thinking about when these guys and them sometimes we have a lot of relatives out there, a lot of innocent people.
And they bomb trains, they bomb they bomb people just in the rally. Look, sometimes people have marathons. Remember the last time that the Boston marathon?
Yeah, the Boston Marathon.
And the guy used a pressure cooker and he blew up people like no tomorrow. Not too long ago, a guy drove one of Elon Musk Tesla into a crowd, killing 15 people. And as you say, they fight a war totally different. They don't come with guns blazing and bomb dropping. They use whatever they have, and they use it very subtle. So all the people are like going out and hanging out with God in crowds and so quit. Don't do it.
It's not easy, man.
No. I don't know the funny. I think everybody, Obama took out Bin Laden, so he has to make his mark on history. And I saw on the news last night that Netanyahu says that America has changed the course of history. But we don't know if it's good history or bad history. That is the thing. He changed the course, but what history has it changed? Because all of us could be in danger as well as it goes the other way. Because now Russia is saying that Israel had no right to, America had no right to go bomb
Iran.
this place. China is saying this one is saying that. And when world leaders and so are starting to chime into backing up this and that, that's where trouble starts.
That bomb used is a serious bomb. I think they call it the bunker
The
bus.
bunker bomb, yeah, buses. That's what you started out.
Going on about 200 feet. Yeah. 30,000 planes,
I don't know if you saw an earthquake passing Iran. Did you see something about an earthquake passing Iran?
No.
I saw something flash on my eyes when I was doing something this morning. I saw it says earthquake passed in Iran. So I'm saying the bombs that went off, they must have moved someplace. Yeah, that bomb seriously dangerous. This is not going to let me ask you this, right? You have bombs. You have nuclear weapons. But I should have.
No.
That's what it's saying, I could have them, but you're not supposed to have because you might use it against me. And in the meantime, you just did what you're talking about. You just used it to annihilate somebody's country. You're not the world owner. You're not the world police.
Yeah. But a serious piece of technology they have for that bomb. That bomb, like, it drive down into the earth. Imagine going down 200 feet and explode down there. I think it's them alone that have that kind of, yeah, but dangerous. Yeah, dangerous. Ah, let's move.
So this morning, and I would like to stay silent on that silence. This morning we're going to talk about situations in life where the best thing to do is remain silent, according to psychologists. So, Jester, you know, a lot of us would like to talk and talk and talk and talk. And sometimes we say the wrong things at the wrong time to the wrong people and all kinds of stuff. So sometimes it's just better to stay silent. It depends on where you are, the surroundings that you are in, and stuff like that. Because we hear enough things that people are saying, and it has no truth to it at all.
Yeah.
And sometimes it causes chaos in people's lives. So we are trying to say when to stay silent and when you can speak.
Okay, that's true. When it at times I believe you have to remain silent on certain things, maybe that you see
Okay.
or hear or realize. Because if you do speak on everything that you see, sometimes you tend to have regrets based on what the outcome can result in.
When you say it, you cannot take it.
Yeah, so I have no doubt at times that you have to remain silent on certain things, certain issues, or whatever the case you may want to put.
Yeah. And the number that is scrolling across the screen is the correct number to call. And I know a lot of us in this life, sometimes we wish we had remained silent on certain things, as Jester said, because the backlash that we get is not worth it for what we said earlier. And sometimes, just innocently, you may say something, Jester, and not thinking that it would have that effect on someone's mental health or someone's um, persona. And when we get the backlash of it, then we know, oh my gosh, I shouldn't have said anything. Because sometimes you say
Yeah,
something to try to help someone, it backfires because they didn't ask you for their help. So, in other words, stay silent.
I agree.
Yeah.
Totally.
So it says there's a fine line between adding value to a conversation and just adding noise. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is stay quiet. It might seem counterintuitive, especially when you feel the need to voice your opinion or defend your position. But psychology suggests there are circumstances where silence is the best response. It is not about being passive or disinterested, but about understanding the power of thoughtful silence. In this article, we'll explore situations or some situations where keeping silent can actually be your most effective strategy. Let's delve into the art and science of silence. So you'll see what it's already saying here.
Mm-hmm.
There are times you just need to stay silent. And then sometimes you're in a chord Jester and somebody holds the floor and that person just want to be heard or want to be seen. And you might just stand there with your arms folded and just listening, and they may think that you are disinterested in what they have to say or you're being passive. No, you're just a silent observer, knowing when you can, when you say knowing what to throw away and what to keep, and when to stay silent. And that's what it's all about. That is the magic of it. When to stay silent in a conversation or anywhere around you. Said, staying silent during heated arguments. We have been there. A conversation escalates into a full-blown argument and it's getting heated. Psychology tells us that this is exactly when you should hit the pause button. During such high tension moments, emotions are running high and rational thinking often takes a back seat. Any words you say in the heat of the moment can potentially escalate the situation even further. By choosing to remain silent, you allow both parties to calm down, think clearly, and prevent any regrettable words being said. More importantly, it shows respect for the other person, even when you disagree with them. Remember, silence in this situation isn't a sign of defeat, but a strategic move towards resolution.
And that's the thing, Claire. Excuse me. A lot of the times, when you choose to remain silent on of certain things on certain issues, even in cases of where there may be some argument, something stirring up, a lot of people think that may be a sign of weakness from you, and that is certainly that could be so far from the truth. In fact, people who tend to remain silent, they are the most dangerous set of people to really take chances with. You understand? I'm telling you. Yeah. Most of the people I know that are very dangerous is people who don't talk much. You understand? So a lot of people must not get twisted on that when they realize somebody choose to take a stand to just remain silent. So and I know some guys just feel, well, they're so big and they bad because they will beat up the jet, brag boy against someone, and they might see that person just remain on this side, just allow them to just stop.
Yeah. And that
But
hurts you more than anything else.
that's the thing, eh?
Because you don't know what they're about to say.
Yeah,
They're not even bothering with you. It's like they take the ignore pill.
yeah,
And they just ignore you totally. And that hurts more than
yeah.
anything
That
else.
is worse.
Because even just in relationships, you and your spouse may have a problem. I and my spouse may have a problem. And I decided I'm running my mouth like a river Jordan. And he may just stay and watch me and just go answer. And I say, well, why aren't you answering me? I just ignore me more. And that gets me madder than a hatter. So
You are who?
by me and my spouse.
But you didn't tell me. All right. All right.
I told you when the time comes, just you. Yes. And then I suppose I'm yeah.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Take me to spend same contract to remaining Philippine house because the same one thing, the same thing that you don't know about.
Oh gosh.
Yes.
Um,
So yeah.
Grant might be listening. Good morning to you, Grant.
My saying Jester take a Philippine house this September. Something is too much. Last week I said all this was in my head has gone. No, so again it's already 4 to 10. So yes. So you're just supposed to have an issue and you if you stay silent or she stays silent and that hurts you more than anything else. But sometimes the silence is for your peace of mind and not to escalate the situation. Because I'm mad, you mad, we say things
Yeah.
that we cannot take back, and sorry would not cut it at the end of the day. So silence has become your golden opportunity. As they say, silence is golden at a lot of times. So it says you should stay silent when someone else is speaking. I've learned this valuable lesson in Party. I was in a critical business meeting. I was eagerly waiting to share my thoughts. As soon as I saw an opening, I jumped in and started talking. But in my haste to make my point, I inadvertently interrupted my boss. It was awkward to say the least. That's when I realized the importance of silence when someone else is speaking. It is not just about being polite. It is also about showing respect and giving the other person the space to express their thoughts. Psychology tells us that active listening, which includes staying silent while others speak, not only makes us better communicators, but also fosters stronger relationships. So, before you rush to fill the silence, remember that sometimes it is better to just sit back and listen. That is solid advice.
Oh yes.
Solid.
That person really is on point.
Yes, solid. Because as you say, sometimes you're talking, you have you on the floor saying whatever it is that you're saying, and somebody just want to get into their point and they just say, and in the meantime, who's speaking? The boss. And then, but it wasn't the boss that was speaking then, but the boss, how you call it, reciprocate to the conversation that the person was making and he was making a point, but you were so eager to jump in and say, to make your point that you did not listen or you didn't pay attention, and voila.
Yeah, right. You know, you have been judged really based on what your utter from your utterances. It's difficult to place a judgment against somebody if you hear nothing from them. And so much so, sometimes I really do surprise at some people literally because never hearing them say anything, you can't really have a true assessment. But boy, sometimes when you hear that person speak and what comes out from them, you're thinking, oh, you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Yeah. And I start seeing them in different lights, you know?
See,
Yeah, yeah.
and then you start backing away from that person because you're thinking, well,
Exactly.
I don't want to be associated with that person at all because what comes out of their mouth is really rot, you know? So again, another way to stay silent is when you are unsure of the facts, and that is a big one, Jester.
Well,
If
I think you need to say that very loud and bold, you know, because that's the problem with we Grenadians these days. We tend to be very presumptuous, you know,
so, it
and that's
says
a real bad thing about us. This is what I realize. We don't
when you
take
can
time to analyze things and you know, we fact finding mission and come up with the truth, but we just quick to make all sort of accusation and assumptions of situations, and that's a real bad thing. And I realize that's the trend of gradients these days, generally speaking.
say it. Another time for you to stay silent is when you are unsure of the facts. If you do not have the facts about what you're about to talk about, stay silent. Do some research. Put your ears on the ground. Get the facts first, and then you can speak afterwards. It doesn't make any sense at all that you want to be the first person to bring out the information when you do not know the truth about the information. So if you're unsure of what it is that you're going to be talking about, do not go spread it like butter outside there because this is what it is. Sometimes the fact, just a couple of days ago, I went to the clinic, the complex down there with a friend of mine, and there was a guy in Montreal. I don't know, he fell sick or whatever it is on the side of the road. And the thing was, he died. Since 5 o'clock in the morning, he died on the eye open and he ain't breathing. So I said, well, I see my sleeping the eye wide open. Because a lot of us sleep on the eye, see, because he's sleeping. Oh, no, I did. The police came there, the police says, no, he's dead from below. Like he missed a fallen and knocked his head or spine or something. So, well, all we had is he dead. So I went back to the complex yesterday to the same friend of mine. And I asked the girl, I said, so what gives you the guy? Did he die, I think? No, he ain't dead, but I know nothing more about it. So you see the facts that is led out to us now, thinking that the guy died, when in fact he didn't die at all. So we have to be, as I said, if you're not sure about it, don't say it. And well, maybe I could say to you, just this is what I'm hearing. Do not spread this because I'm not sure about
Yeah,
this. You know?
I'm saying, yeah, you must know in some if it's
Like,
an allegation, you know,
right.
you
It
know,
is alleged
yeah,
that this is what happened, but
yeah.
this is not the gospel truth because like when we lost internet power for the day, and I had to go to Flow and tell them I didn't have internet for a whole day and a half. We didn't have a program, and
And why you get it?
they really sweat me out.
Yeah, well, that try your best.
But if I don't say it, and how would they know that? You see the thing, Jester. We in Grenada here that I find, we complain to the wrong person. I would complain to you about the price of my bill and I didn't get power for this thing. But you're not complaining to the powers that be. And if you do not do that, or you do not at least voice it, they will think that everything is hunky dory. It is
Run,
not.
try. I'll tell you, try your best. One thing I know you could talk.
Not have oil.
I give you that, but especially under these sort of conditions,
Yeah, I'm going.
I give you a plus for that. Try, you tell me you pass.
Could be wrong. So yes, again, going back to the facts, if you do not have the facts. Like when I told everybody the internet, they said truck
Yeah.
a wire, which could be possibly true. But there was a fire that caused the outage of the internet for 2 whole days. And I came to and I said, Jester, this is what I heard, but do not spread it because I do not have concrete evidence of that. Until you went down to drive down wherever and you see the place burn and they said that the internet wire got burnt also, which was true, but we did not know if the excavator truck hit the wire and caused it to rush the other one, and whatever happens, that happens. So my thing is, do not spread information that you do not have the truth about. It says, do you know that the human brain could hold as much information as a hard drive with 1 terabyte of storage? Did you know that, Jester?
Yes, I know that.
Okay. That is a lot of data. And let me tell you, we're walking with data like the guy on Star Trek, data himself, the android. But coming to think about it, this is where the phone come from, Jester. Star Trek, the android, and the data. Because he was an android and he was data, there was data. So,
Oh.
Star Trek. See how he just clicked together here? That is a lot of data. But it doesn't mean we always have the right information at our fingertips. This is the part that I like. We do not have the right information at our fingertips, even though we collect and store a lot of knowledge inside there. In situations where you're unsure of your facts or lack concrete evidence to back up your statement, it is often best to remain silent. Speaking on a topic without solid knowledge can lead to misinformation and harm your credibility. Staying quiet gives you the opportunity to listen, learn, and then speak when you're sure of your facts. It shows humility and a willingness to learn, which can increase others' respect for you. After all, it is better to remain silent and be thought a fool than to speak and remove all doubt.
Oh, yes. Oh,
We
yes.
cannot say it happy now. It is on point with that one.
Yeah.
Because no matter what amount of information we store, Jester, or what amount of data we have, it doesn't always mean that it is the right thing. Doesn't mean that at all. So if we do not know something, like you and I cannot just come and sit here if I'm not blowing, is it? Put it up
Yeah.
closer to you.
Oh, no.
I think there's something is going in it.
I'm not feeling that breeze of that fan at all this morning, you know,
No?
Claire.
Pull it up and see. Maybe it made me find going. No. Well, so yes, maybe we have information, we have all, but every time we spew something from our mouths, doesn't mean that it is the truth, right? Especially those of us that want to be the first to give out the information. I know there are a lot of us in this world that something happened, they run with it,
Yeah.
whether it is the truth or not, and then they have to backpedal. And sometimes backpedaling is a little too late.
They don't
Because
take time off to analyze the whole thing.
Because you already put it out there. You
Yeah.
can't take it back. People always remember that when you say something, it comes out of your mouth, we cannot take it back. Even though we'd like to, we cannot take it back. And then, as I said, sometimes apology does not cut it because you already damaged that person's image of what it is. Good morning to you, Mr. Nicholas Snap. Hope all is well. Perspective, yes.
Yeah.
So, another time to stay silent, Jester, when the timing isn't right. It says timing is everything, and that is quite true.
Of course.
Timing is everything. There are moments where speaking up could do more harm than good, simply due to bad
Bad
timing.
timing.
Imagine you've just heard some exciting news about the project you're working on. You're eager to share it with everyone, but it's late at night. As much as you'd like to share the news immediately, would it be appreciated by your colleagues receiving a work-related message at that hour? Psychology suggests that knowing when to hold back is just as important as knowing what to say. By being sensitive about timing, you respect other people's boundaries and increase the likelihood of your message being well received when you do choose to share it. So next time you're eager to voice out something, take a moment to consider if the timing is appropriate. I don't think they can say it any better.
No, timing is critical.
For everything under the sun.
Yes.
Everything. You cannot just go willy-nilly and say things because you have information. There's a time, as I say, there's a time and a place for everything under the sun. So, if you know something, that doesn't mean that you have to say it the moment you know it. If you're in a project, sometimes the project is a pilot project and it's not ready to go out into to the world as yet. And they're testing, you're doing the testing behind the scenes. And it's not supposed to go to the public, but because you're so excited, you say, Jester boy, I'm working on a project there and this is what it's going to be. That is not my place to tell you. I am just a small fish in that big pond that they use to put it together. As I said, to coagulate everything and then bring it up. But you say it?
Have you ever been placed in a situation where you know of something,
And you
you
can
know,
say it?
and you have to remain silent on it because if you do not, you know the kind of chaos that may come with it. You know
Yes.
the kind of
Yes.
how disastrous it can end up being. Yeah, have you been in a situation like
Yes. But you
that?
know what
Okay.
I do? Excuse me, and I gone. Because you see the pressure that you're
Yeah.
under. And sometimes just even look at your face. They'll be able to tell that you know something. Eh? I don't play poker, so I don't know what a poker face look like. But if you're guilty of knowing what is going on and you're there and you just want to blot it out because you know it, it is a lot of pressure. So in that case, excuse yourself and move your together. That way you save everybody. And they might ask you, well, how come you just up and then? I just thought about something that I think I knew about. Because you yourself know the damages that could be done by you saying whatever it is.
Yeah.
But what is it again? Timing. Timing. And if it has to be let out, when the time comes, it's going to be let out. But you don't want to be the what you call it, the whistleblower in that way that says things. Somebody trusts you with what it is that they say, and they say, Jester, this from my lips to your ears, FYI, for your information. And that's it. It didn't say for our information, FYI, not FY. And that's it. You keep it, and if you can't, in a situation where you cannot feel, you're not feeling comfortable staying there because you know what you know, Mosiah. Find some way of living that place. Because the pressure might get so hot on you, might just blot it out. I know one person said the chest is not a band, but it's a drink of a they're not really no information, it's just not a band.
Yeah, some people do react like that.
Yes.
Some
Yes.
people do react like that.
Yeah.
But some people,
Some people
again,
don't care. They say it is that you didn't tell me that. And the thing is just I of the notion that if I say something to you, I'm saying it to you. If I wanted to tell everybody that's going to call a group together and give everybody the same information at the same time, you understand?
yeah,
But if I say it to you, that means it's personal between you and I, and that's it. Because some people they're telling 5 different people, and they say, "Well, I only tell just I know that's a lie." You know you're lying. So if you want to say something to somebody and you want to be kept, so then don't say it at all. And if you say to Jester and it comes out with Jester, you're the only person I told this. So how did it get out when I didn't say it to anybody else? You catch where I'm coming from?
yeah.
So another time to be silent is when someone needs to be heard. You understand what they're talking about, right?
Oh, yeah, you have to listen.
When someone needs to be heard.
Yeah.
So if I come to you and I say to you, Jessica, I need to talk to you. This is bothering the taillights out of you. And I start telling you what is that. Man, Claire, you forget about that now. Don't do this, don't do this. And you give me out. I don't come to you for you to tell me and they want you to listen to me. And if I want your advice, I'm going to say, so what do you think? What should I do? You know, is there? But listen to me first. Because this is why I came to you, because I need you to listen to what I am saying before you start telling me what I should do and what I shouldn't do. When someone needs to be heard, it says there are times when we encounter a friend, a family member, or even a stranger who is going through a tough time. They may be overwhelmed with emotions and desperately need someone to share the burden with. In such situations, the most compassionate thing you can do is to remain silent. And what is that? To remain silent and listen, not offering advice, not trying to fix their problems, but simply be there for them. Psychology affirms that the act of active listening can be incredibly therapeutic for the speaker. It validates their feelings and let them know they are not alone. In these moments, the silence speaks volumes, and the empathy and understanding. It is a powerful reminder that sometimes people don't need advice or solutions. They just need to be heard.
That's true. Some people just want to vent. They just want a listening ear, to pour out
That was vomiting.
from,
I think
yeah,
that was vomit.
yeah, just to pour out from inside it, you know. Yeah.
And the thing is, when a person comes to you, as it says, don't try to solve their problems. Don't try to tell them what to do because they may know what to do, Jester, but they just need somebody to
Yeah.
listen. Because sometimes when you're saying it, I might be saying it to you, and boom, like bulb went off in my head. This is what I have to do to solve the problem that I'm going through.
But yet, in some instances, for some people, for them to get over certain things, they just need to talk it out. They just need to talk it out.
Talk it up because by that way, I can hear myself. I can hear what I'm saying. And you might be able to pick out something when I say, so what do you think? You might be able to tell me, but based on what you said, this might be a good solution for you or something like that. I may take it as well as I may not, but at least you heard me. You heard what I had to say and you listened and without trying to fix me because I'm obviously I'm not fixable as it is already. It's not me. Didn't know that was coming, did you?
Everybody, and I have my smoothie.
Let's take a quick break and then we'll be right back.
Oh, wake up, it's a brand new day. Got some things I need to say. Feeling heavy, you're not alone. Come take 5, you're in the zone. Places come, hearts that care. Two good friends always there. Let the sunlight in your mind. Peace and hope you're sure to find. We'll take CJ and Jester. Talking truth, in pressure. Every Tuesday, 10 to
Oh, you're looking for that ordinance belongings where you can purchase all your groceries and household items at the same time? Well, look further. Smart Buy SE Welfare and Company Limited, located at Oh, you're looking for that one little supermarket where you can purchase all your groceries and household items at the same time? Well, look further. Smart Buy SE Welfare and Company Limited, located at the top of the town on Main Street, St. Patrick, is the ideal spot. There is open Sunday to Sunday from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. on Mondays to Fridays, 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. on Saturdays, and 8:30 a.m. to 12:50 p.m. on Sundays, just for your convenience. Call them today at 442-9219. That number again, 442-9219. We're shopping snacks at Snack Buy.
For more information, contact We Noise TV at 929-445-4463, or you can email us at wenoisetv@gmail.com. We Noise TV, the leading streaming provider. Anytime, anywhere, any screen. Access to your favorite HD contents with prices as low as ever. Choose from monthly, quarterly, or yearly payments. This worldwide service is flexible for you to keep up with all your favorite programs, shows, movies, and local programming from home no matter where you travel to. Worldwide TV channels right at your fingertips wherever you are. Latest in live sports, binge watch all your favorite TV shows, movies on demand, videos on demand. You can pause, rewind, fast forward anytime. Never miss 1 minute in entertainment important to you. No contracts, no added prices for sports or premium packages. We certainly don't have to pull tricks like cable and satellite companies. Our product speaks for itself and beyond. We Noise TV. We have everything like Netflix, Disney, Amazon. Watch your favorite movies, TV shows, and series with our services. With our service, you will get rid of all other subscriptions. For more information, contact We Noise TV at 929-445-4463, or you can email us at wenoisetv@gmail.com.
Welcome to Tech 5, your mental health program with CJ and Jester. With CJ and Jester. We are back. So, Jester, you're talking about you have a smoothie. You could tell me 4 things that's in this smoothie and make you one next week. That is here. That's your 3, right?
Mango, ginger, cinnamon, clove.
What? The smoothie has about 6 different things in it. You want me to tell you?
So I got 3.
No, you only got 1.
What do you
Mango. Mango takes over anything you make and you put
So you
mango
got
in it.
ginger?
Okay, hold on. You have mango. I didn't individually put ginger.
Ah,
Hold on.
yeah.
Mango, cucumbers, celery, carrots, sea moss, and lemon juice or lemon beverage. The lemon beverage has the ginger in it, so that's right. So you only got 1.
Not the 2.
No, not what's 2?
Yeah, ginger.
Did last no whatever. Mango, anything you put mango in mango, it takes over. So you didn't get it, so that's your last video. 1 to 3, you're done. So
But it tastes really, really, really good.
what do I have a bad
Trust me.
smoothie? Oh, and it has pineapple in it too.
Mmm,
Yeah. I gave you the boss smoothie this morning.
for real.
But that's the last. Because you did
And
not
how you get me to dance?
but you
The,
don't I don't
the
say
one
that.
boss with that thing from the theme song, how you get me to dance?
I don't ask you that again. We're not dancing anymore, so no more smoothies for you. So yes, so we're going back to the situations in life where the best thing to do is remain silent based on what psychologist has to say. And the number to call is 1473-404-1189. So another time for you to stay silent just is when you're trying to control your emotions. I read that already, yes? No? No.
No, really.
So I remember a time when I received some feedback that I didn't agree with. My first instinct was to defend myself and express my disagreement. My heart was racing, and I could feel my face getting warm. But instead of lashing out, I chose to remain silent. I took a few deep breaths and allowed myself time to process the information. Psychology tells us that silence can be an incredibly effective tool for managing our emotions. It gives us the space to reflect on our feelings rather than reacting impulsively. By choosing silence in that moment, I was able to manage my emotions, reflect on the feedback objectively, and respond in a more thoughtful and constructive manner. It was a tough lesson, but one that stuck with me ever since. And that is quite true. When you are when you're in a situation where you hear something and you just want to respond, you kind of lose all sense of your being. And you say, that's it. But I remember when I was working in churches, something upset me really, really bad one day. And my boss says to me, says, Claire, come here. And I went and says, I know you're upset and I know the reason why you're upset. You're all right to be upset. He says, but promise me something. Take 24 hours before you get that see. He said, I see you're about to blow. He said, take 24 hours to think about it and then you can respond. Never forget that advice. So I might take 48 hours because 24 not enough for to calm me down. So I take 2 days and I question myself and I say things to myself and I ask this and I fend for myself and so. And then I'll be able afterwards to deal with it the way I'm supposed to deal with it. rather than blue, because as we say, sometimes we say things and we cannot take it back. So thank you, Al Patterson, for telling me that when you told me, because it has helped me along the way in life to deal with things differently.
There are some people who say you can check to it 10.
10, 10,
My
so
dear.
I tell you what, honest, you go check your check, 100. And the more you check, the more heated you become, because it's like you're seeing the person and you know what they said and you just want to blow. Take 24. Take 24 hours or even take 48 if that's what you need for you to settle yourself and question things and deal with it on a normal.
Yeah, that's why it's never advisable to make decisions under hasty conditions.
So that's it. So it says it gives us the space to reflect on our feelings rather than reacting impulsively. And the thing is that, as it says, every action gets a reaction. And so the reaction is not the thing that you want to put out there. Because if somebody hit me, my reaction is just to hit them back. But sometimes that is not the right thing for me to do, because it might escalate into a big war and involve people that is not supposed to be involved in it. Yes?
Oh, yes.
Okay. It says, right?
When you're in a new environment, yeah.
Another time to stay silent is when you are in a new environment. Starting a new job, meaning moving to a new city, joining a new club. These are situations where you might find yourself in an unfamiliar environment, surrounded by people you don't know. It's natural to want to make your presence felt and establish a rapport with new acquaintances. But psychology suggests that initially it might be wiser to observe and listen. By holding back and listening, you learn about the dynamics of the group, the unspoken rules, and the personalities of those around you. This information can guide your interactions and help you navigate this new environment more effectively. So remember, when you are in unfamiliar territory, sometimes it's best to listen first and speak later. What happened to the phone this morning? Just the phone and okay, no, I think you can recall and it worked. So I know what's going on.
Maybe you need to call the number for them again.
No. I know Lorna is waiting to reach a part where she wants to comment. What about she called? Because it's a Jester. Every one of us, or the majority of us in the world, went to a job and it was new to us. The first time we going there. They didn't hire everybody at the same time. One. So you meet people in the job, the new job that you go to. And the tendency is to try to get to introduce yourselves and say, I am Claire, and this is that and that and yada yada yada. Sometimes they don't accept you when the first time they see you. Everybody sizes you up and say, okay, she has an attitude, or she posh, or she stuck up. They just watch you and they say that, right? So it is they're saying here, although you're not that kind of person, yes, but that's what they thought about you. So in that case, instead of forcing it or forcing them to want to make them like you, sit back, relax, chill, and observe.
Very important. Very, very important.
Because sometimes you open your mouth and yes, I did, but you can still call and comment. Yes, sometimes just by just saying hello and so, it just turn them off. Because according to how you say hello, they might think, well, who is Stacey? Who's she saying no? She don't know us, we don't know her, just so in that case, you just observe. Try to see the person that you might be able. There's always one in a group or in a crowd that you can gel with when you go into a new workplace, because that person is going to come to you and say, "Hi, I am Jester. If you need any help, let me know." Of the whole group, one person is going to do that. So then that's your opening to start to get to know the people that you are working with. Yeah, I've moved to a new city. I did move to a new city, and it was not the best at all, because when we come from here, and we see people every morning, every evening, and we have a tendency to say good morning or good evening, which we all grew up doing, yeah?
Yeah.
When you go to those new cities,
Mhm.
everybody for themselves. They don't acknowledge you as when you say good morning, look like which part of the earth you come from. Or because this is what we go, this is part of our heritage, and we say good morning to people. So in a new city, you can feel really left out until you sort of get to
Yeah, but it's just one or two people. I don't know. I don't know what it is like in Canada, but in New York, when I've been there are certain people that will accept your good morning. Yeah,
I'm
when
sure
I
there
used
were
to,
students.
yeah,
Well, that's what I'm talking about. In okay, now Toronto and Canada has become very diverse. But remember, in the 80s and so when you go there was well, where you live, you hardly see people of my color and stuff. It depends on where you live. If I was living around Eglinton and Oakwood and so in the West End, oh yeah, blocks the road on there. We chilling, we happening. But it depends on where you live. You don't get to see that much of us. So you see more Caucasian and Italians and stuff like that. And then they don't give a flying fig about you whether you say good morning to them or not. So you can feel that way when you stay silent. Don't say good morning to them when you see them. Even if once and
yeah,
they
well,
don't answer, that
if you
means
realize, yeah, you don't make yourself a fool and
no,
continue
no, you say
to,
good morning as though you're
yeah,
waiting for somebody's good morning.
exactly.
No, they just
Yeah.
pass you away. If you make eye contact with them and they nod, you just nod back and you mosey up. But it's the only place I know that you can go.
Before you go outside, do you have more in this there?
You know,
In this?
do I look like you just joined me? I understand this. And the funny thing, I didn't make one for myself. I just made that one for you. I haven't still got oats.
You must have more that come
No,
from.
I just and no more. The one that kind of smooth and then bring materials and you're getting it. That's simple. Yes. So, the only place I felt that you could tell the folks good morning when you're there is when you go to the park. You're walking in the park, people are walking their dogs, people are doing the same walking, and people will say good morning to you in the park. And if you go a week and they get to see you for the week and they didn't show up the next week or 2 days the next week, they say, well, where were you? We didn't see you. So you kind of get that good feeling in the park. But anywhere else, just leave the people alone.
Yeah. For real?
No, honestly, it's in the park because everybody's in the park know you coming in there because they see you walking there every morning. And then the direction you go, they already come from there and stuff like that. So you become the park people. So they know you. But other than that, lazy people are going to sit and don't say good morning because they're not going to answer. They
Yeah.
ask you, and they ask you, what good about it? You tell them good morning, what good about it? I'm like, who are these people? I think we're getting a call. Good morning. So they kind of the park people.
Good morning.
How are you?
Good morning.
Good. How are you?
Good, thank
Good
you.
morning, Jester.
Good morning to you.
Yeah. Yeah. So I like the one where the subtopic when the timing isn't right because this is one that I try to practice because I realize that if you wait on the right time to say something to another person, especially when it's something unpleasant, then you will find that the person might take it better than if just as something happened, you just blurt out what you want to say. So to me, it's a choice between escalating conflict or preventing regretful words or allowing for careful consideration because then you can think more about what you want to say. So this is a very powerful tool in communication. However, we have to distinguish this one between the silent treatment because the silent treatment now is when you're just not saying anything to the person and the person doesn't know what is wrong. So they want to know what's wrong, but you're just not saying something. So that, especially in relationship, that is not very good.
So it's like
So
cold shoulders.
yes, yes. So I think you have to weigh the consequence, like the pros and the cons about when to say something or when not to say something. But knowing when to say it at the right time, you make up your mind, you have to say something, you just have to choose the right timing. You will get better results with that. So this is something I try to practice.
Thank
Yeah.
you so much.
Okay, have a great day.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye, Lorna.
Bye-bye. Bye.
So Lorna has started with, so you'll hear when we have timing is everything. Mrs. Snap, I need you to call and contribute to that because I always learn a thing or two from you when you call and coming. I'm not sure if you're in this position where you can, but if you can, please call us.
Yeah, but you have to pull shoulders, right?
Me? I'm queen of shoulders from that would have made anywhere whatsoever. So next time you
Yeah, no, you're good at when tell you to, you're really good at cold shoulders in Twitter.
know, I live in the Great White North for 35 years. I've learned to have cold shoulders.
Just coming to think about it, you're a cold shoulder specialist.
Wonderful. Say what I'm going to do.
Oh.
I just
Shoulders. Was
came from Canada, okay? So when cold, the I not been tossed properly as yet.
my gosh, yes.
It's like a drug. So yeah, here's the next time. Another time you should stay silent. When silence itself is the message. Donna just touched a little bit on it. When silence itself is the message. There are moments when words fail, where the most eloquent response is silence itself. In the face of a breathtaking sunset, a moving piece of music, or a deeply personal revelation from a loved one, words can often fall short. Psychology suggests that in such instances, silence can be a powerful communicator. It allows us to absorb the moment fully and respond to our presence rather than our words. So the next time you find yourself in one of those profound moments, remember that your silence can be the most meaningful response. That is my favorite paragraph in the whole of that. Jester,
Yes.
when you look out on the ocean and you see that big ball of red coming up there. I think this is the most awesome thing to look at. The sun, when it's rising, and it takes its time, and it comes up over the horizon, and up, until it reaches wherever it is zenith, and then you see that gold. But I think the rising sun or the setting sun, for me, it is the most gorgeous thing on planet Earth has created, honestly. From the
It is. It is.
when the sun is setting, just
Especially when it's setting.
oh, you see the trees are kind of black, like you can actually the sun is red. You see the birds flying, and you can see it's just. There's no words to describe it, but just say wow.
How much the time when as soon as it reaches it touches the horizon.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking about the sunset now, there's a time it takes to disappear entirely. I think it's about 2 minutes 36 seconds. But we gotta play. You and I must both check that time.
Mm-hmm.
One of these afternoons, sit up, look at it.
What is it about watching?
No, you don't have to do it. We have to do it differently. I don't have to be around you. You don't have to be
Well,
around.
you have to tell me when you're doing it so two of us
And,
can do it. So everyone wants
no, you time it from the time it hits.
the
It hits
beginning of
the horizon, yeah, and then
starts going down.
and the time it takes to disappear completely. I
Mhm.
think it's about 2 minutes 36 seconds.
I have what do you
Anyhow,
see again?
I think
And then when it goes down, when it's going down on the horizon, and that whole streak that comes across the ocean. Ay, ay, ay.
mm,
It is like cold on the water. I can't stop
what a sight.
visualizing it. Honestly,
Yeah, what a sight it is.
it's
Nature at its very best.
you know when you used to travel over the what do you call that place again? Mount Morris?
Yeah.
Just when the bus turns to go down into the hill where they were doing the thing there. So
Yeah.
the traffic wardens used to be there. They jump, and the traffic is coming and make you wait, and then you have to, then you go. And that, you see the mass ocean there, it's always because they can walk on the water, and that sun, and it just spreads across it.
Yeah, but
So then
Victoria
it
people
just,
get it the best, eh? That's why they refer to them as Sunset City.
Sunset City.
Yeah.
It is
Mm.
beautiful. And then you come up to Bob, and the moonlight or the sunset, whatever, and the little boats, and then they paint them in white, and you see that little white thing in the middle of the ocean there. Oh, there are a lot of things in this world that we take for granted, Jester, and they are just majestic.
It's true.
Just majestic. And people, you also, life is really short these days. Before you know it, somebody is gone. Take a moment and look at what we have gotten from nature. And sometimes we can just silence you. And they said this is the best silence you can get. When you do not, when you are lost for words, just like. And sometimes we are lost for words in bad things too, right? You see something bad happen and you don't know what to say because you guys know what's the
Yeah,
problem.
you're astonished.
Yes.
You're baffled.
Yes. But the beauty of the silence is what I'm talking about. So here, the next time to be silent is when you are in the presence of a complainer. We all know someone like that. You all might look at me as a complainer. I might look at Jessica as a complainer. Not that we are, but there are a lot of us on planet Earth that complains. It says, picture this. You're with a friend, a family member, a co-worker who's constantly complaining. You might feel the urge to jump in, either to offer advice or express your own frustrations. But in these situations, silence might just be the best approach. Complaining is often a self-reinforcing behavior. The more someone complains, the more they find things to complain about. This cycle can lead, this cycle can be hard to break, especially when others join in. By remaining silent, you are not feeding into the negativity. Instead, we are creating a peaceful space. Good morning.
Good morning, CJ.
Thank you
Good
so
morning,
very
Jester.
much.
Good morning to you, sir.
How are you
Yeah.
guys doing today?
We're doing very
I'm
good,
doing,
thank you. And you?
I'm doing fine.
I'm doing well. I'm doing well.
Thank
I'm doing
you
well.
for responding to my call for your call.
Oh, well, you were? I stepped away from my phone and I just came back to it. So let me take a minute and reach out to you guys.
I did say call because I needed to give her some thoughts on that. What we're talking about this morning, silence.
Right. Silence, being silent. Okay, okay. I started listening to you guys late, so I had to rewind the YouTube video so I can catch up with what you guys were speaking on. And being silent is the most one of the most powerful tools you can use in many different aspects of your life. Yeah, not everything you have to speak about. My great grandmother used to tell me sometimes you have to let the words drop and don't pick it up. Just leave it alone. Yeah, and that's
Yeah.
the best advice you can give, right? And I remember someone asked me about someone of influence and what I think of them. And I said, well, I would choose to be silent on that. And they said, well, that says a lot. Yeah. I said, well, okay, when you're reporting back, remember, I said I choose to be silent. I didn't say anything else other than that. If you understand what I'm saying. So don't want to say I said something when I didn't say anything. Right? Yeah. So, in that case, my great grandmother told me sometime if you don't have nothing good to say, we stay silent. Keep your mouth shut.
Yeah.
Lucky Debe said the same thing. If you have nothing to say, shut up.
Shut up.
Yeah.
Yeah, nothing good to say, shut up. He was a little bit more raw with the words. Yeah. Um, even with if you're in sales and you're trying to sell something to someone, you have to use silence in your negotiation tools as a very powerful tool. For instance, if you're trying to get somebody to give you information while you're speaking to them, you would stop and be silent and count to about 5 in your mind. And that silence in between the two parties makes you uncomfortable. And most people, when they're uncomfortable, they try to fill the gap in with some things and they will speak. And not necessarily what they don't want, what they don't want to speak about, that's what they will talk about.
Exactly.
And they will give you information that, you did not ask. And they will just try to fill in the blanks and then they will just speak and then you will get the information you're looking for. And you would move on with your sales. We go, okay, all right, now I know this is my competition or this. And they'll give you a little clue of who they're speaking about and what they're trying to do. So, and even if you're just having a casual conversation with someone, and you're trying to get more information from them and they're trying to be coy, you just leave that little silence in between the conversation and they would continue to speak and they will divulge more to you than, that you would, we normally would allow. Yeah. So silence is a very powerful tool to use. And like I said, it's not everything you hear. You have to jump in and start to speak. Like you said, you join a new organization. Sometimes you just need to sit and observe and listen to people speak, the way they speak, what they speak on. Um, and you will start to glean information as you go about. And for me, I go into a room, I would just remain silent and observe the room, observe people, how they move about, who's talking to who is the social people, how they interact with each other. And you start to see a lot more dynamics than they would reveal to you by speaking. Body language, how they approach certain people, how they talk, how they move. And you see who have a good relationship, who doesn't, and their language, their body illuminates back to you. You start to pick up on these things. So, like you said, being silent is a very powerful tool. And if you use it correctly, it can be something that will be to your advantage. I'm not sure if that helps you guys in how you're trying to get it across to different people in Grenada. But I find, to me, Grenadians don't use silence very wisely.
No, you're right about it.
Correct.
I was making the point this morning because a lot of them
yeah, they don't use it
Grenadians
very
are too
wisely.
presumptuous. They don't take time to
They-
analyze situation. They're quick to assume things, and yeah, I was making that point earlier.
yes. So if you're a young person or older person, practice not responding to something and see the reaction that would happen. And then you can gauge how you want to move forward from there. Yeah? Just practice it. Don't respond at all. Just leave it alone. Sometimes, Claire made an example. So her manager told her, take 48 hours, take 24 hours. Don't respond right now. Sometimes you're angry and you write an email or you respond to a phone call, you respond to a question, and it comes out. And then we said, well, wow, I shouldn't have really reacted that way. That was too much. You understand? But it's, as your player said, it's too much. It's already done. How are you going to undo it? You can't. Yeah. So sometimes if you take that moment, being silent, you reflect on yourself, you get a better response coming back. Yeah.
So, yeah, so hear me, let me question. One, the caller before you said you can use silence, but do not use this silent treatment. What do you think about it? Because silent treatment is really in relationships where one of us would not say anything because we're so angry with each other that you can ask me, Claire, what's wrong? And I just shrug my shoulder and I walk away. How do we deal with that silence?
Well, that's a coping mechanism. I'll be honest with you. It's not. I don't use it as that person is referring to it like you're using it something to punish somebody. That's why I get from it. I'm not sure what the caller was trying to refer to. I don't use that as a to punish anybody or get back to you because I don't want to. Whatever he said to me, I'm hurt by it. No, I would stay silent because I'm angry. And if I respond to you when I'm angry, I'm not going to verbalize or articulate what I'm trying to get across properly. Yeah. And if it does come out of my mouth, trust me, it's not going to be good. So for me, silence in that point is like winning the lottery. Yeah,
Mhm.
I'd rather do that and just be silent. Give me my moment. If the moment is half a day or a week, let me have it. So then when I do choose to respond, I would respond in some ways that would be respectful to myself. Yeah. And that's more critical to me. Let me respect myself and not go down the rabbit hole and and respond to you in that way because it's not going to be good for me. It's not going to be good for you, especially if it's a good friend or a good relationship, your wife, your spouse, or whoever, even your children, and you don't react to it. Sometimes you need to take that time for yourself to say, well, am I looking at this really objectively? Is that really what they meant to say? Is that behavior they did is something, you know, typical of them, or is this out of the way? Yeah. If it can wait, yes. If you can't, then maybe you have to respond. But I would rather take the time and wait and not respond because, it's not going to be good. So why let myself fall into the trap? If you understand, I'll walk, with my eyes wide open right into it. No, okay, I'm not going to respond. You trust me, that's very hard to do.
Yes.
For a lot of people, that's very hard to do. You know, I can say like, listen to me. If I want to kill a cockroach in the room, I would throw a whole cruise missile at it, destroy the whole thing. Yeah, and that's not good. That is not good. So I recognize that of my personality, and I try my best to just back off and say, no, I'm not going to respond. Not today. I'm not doing that today. Get thee behind me, Satan. I'm not going to do that. Not really.
But it's
I'm not going to go down there.
no,
I see you. I hear you. I'm not watching you. No, I'm not taking the bait. Not today. Yeah. So, guys, a very good conversation. I'm surprised most people didn't call in and speak to it because I show people many people went the opposite way of being silent, and the
yeah,
result was not good.
no, not at all.
Right. Anyway, guys, enjoy the show and we'll continue to listen in.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
Have a great day. Take care. Bye.
Yeah, I just want to come in on the news there of the caller. In other words, somewhat the stand that you have taken, not to respond to certain things. And when it comes to driving on the road, because there can be a lot of road rage out there with drivers on the road. And I have taken a stand a little while now that I am not going to, because there are some drivers, right? They are the violators, and yet still, they still try to verbally abuse you on the road. I mean, in my formative years and things, I try that I will just watch. I already do think, clear these days, they could say what they want. You might just find me laughing. I take a stand that now, for my own sanity. Because let me tell you what usually happens. Yeah? Well, of course. Not telling you because listen what usually happens. Whenever you follow these people that provoke you on the road, these drivers, all right, and they make you angry, you tend to lose concentration on the road, and you start driving with anger as well, and that is really not good. That is not good. That could lead you into unnecessary accidents. I can tell you that for sure. So realizing that, when you hear them start to get on the CDT, I will just laugh. Let them feel afraid them. Let I could not see. I just laugh at them. I will just laugh. Telling you serious. I'm not going to serious. No, because I'm telling you serious. That usually happens. Because once you start to react to them in such a way, you put yourself in an angry position, and then you'll start driving according to how you react. And then guess what that will be? You are developing more. Yeah. So yeah, yeah.
Because, especially now, Jester, that the roads, especially to St. Andrew, is really in a bad state. Because they're walking down
Yeah.
hill. And I think that drivers that can drive properly would take their time. And I mean, you're not going like you're in a funeral, but you're driving at a pace where it's safe. You see some of them coming down corners and you wonder, is the brakes in the vehicle working or something?
I'm telling you,
But here's the strangest thing. The road is that small, right? They refuse to go down on the side where they're digging up, but you should go down and get
Yeah.
your vehicle there. So we have a standstill. Because I'm not going down in that road, you're not going down in there. I don't, one of us reverse and I don't like to reverse, so you reverse. Let me come through. No, I don't make a fuss. I want to know that don't get me wrong, and I'm going to say this. I may be wrong and I stand corrected. A lot of the people that are learning to drive these days, they do not do defensive driving. They just learn to drive, they go behind the wheel, they turn left or they turn right, or they just go straight. Defensive driving is when you can figure out what is coming to you. You will either stay on the side of the person pass, or you see that they see you coming, instead of you going up to them, just you try defensively. But when they see you coming, whether they like it or not, they are coming. And I think that is wrong, because if you're going to teach them to drive, teach them the right way, honestly. Because when you're learning to, and Mr. Slang might be able to tell me, when you're learning to drive in Canada, just you have three phases of driving. First, you're going to do the written exam, which is called the G1. After you have that G1, then maybe a few months afterwards, you go and do the G2, which is get on the road. That's when you either get an instructor to teach you or you get your spouse to teach you wrong. I get people who please don't do that.
That's a good thing
No,
at all. I will never advise.
You tell it. You go and you get your spouse, you go to pay your money, and you have to
I
drive.
don't even know why you mentioned.
Mention that some people
It's not
do not want to pay the money, so they get a spouse to them wrong on all counts. So you do that, the G2. And then with the G2, after that, you could get to drive by yourself around, and you can go on the highway, but you have to have somebody with you on the highway, or you cannot go on the highway after midnight, or you cannot drive by yourself. This is G2. And then you go on do your exam. If you pass again, then you get the G, which is what most of us have, the G. So we make it, right? I don't know how to do it here, Jester. Please help me, because I don't want to say things that I don't know. We're talking about when to stay silent. I refuse to say I want to stay silent on this now, because I want you to tell me how do they go about doing the driving thing down here.
Well, they go about doing it. Yeah, okay. You first have to do a written exam. First of all, to get through that, to do it, you're supposed to go and by a doctor. You're supposed to get a doctor paper. So the doctor, like, most of the time you go by the doctor, you gotta do the eye tests and everything like that, because
Correct.
So right after you do that, then you will do the written exam. All right. Well, a lot of people, some people purchase the highway code so that they could read through it, and then you do the exams. You have to pay for it. All right.
Yeah, we did.
And then after you pass the written, then you're then now entitled to go and drive on the road.
Okay.
You first have to go through sticks. In recent years, they have gotten the sticks, so you have to go through the sticks. Right? If you go through the sticks successfully, then then your examiner, maybe, or your tutor, together with the police examiner,
That's it.
would be in the car, and then they bring you on the road and drive. Certain places they may ask you to make a 3-point turn, and them sort of things, bring you up a hill. They might make you stop on the hill, and if you're doing manual, to see how effectively you could use the clutch and everything like that, and make you stop on a hill and move off and them sort of thing. But these days you have quite a lot of automatic license and thing taking place. So basically that's how it is. So as long as you haven't passed through the sticks, you are not entitled to go on the road. Except I understand again too, for some people that maybe special provision might be made, to after a while realizing somebody might have real difficulty of going through, and they probably may understand and then go on the road.
Yes, sir.
But basically that's what the procedures are.
I have my question. Going through sticks, we don't have sticks on the road. while we're driving, right? So you go to the sticks down at the terminal, then we go to the stick. That is just a contained area. Do you see what I'm talking about with defensive driving now? Because they're on the open road, yes?
Mm.
And what I don't get really actually is when they kind of waving their hand out the window, what is that for?
Oh, you mean
Because every
they
time
they want the hand, the examiners want the hand sign. They do want the hand
but
sign.
when I'm driving, do I think about hand sign?
No, no, no. Well, no. I don't know.
This is what I'm puzzled about because where we are, where in North America, and those countries where you want to drive, you have winter. Who hand are coming out and wave. The only persons that I know do that all the time is motorcyclists or bicyclists. When they want to turn left or they want to turn right, they stretch their hand up. But other than that, this waving hand thing, I think they should just
But then,
that's
let me tell you the
where is the highway code? What is the highway code? Where is the highway?
you mean, we don't have
Just see it.
we don't have a
See,
But no,
they need to revamp that driving thing.
I agree. I think I agree with you. But
Honestly, they need to
certain
revamp
certain
it.
aspect of it, I believe they
Yes.
need to revisit and to suit our condition down here. Because let me tell you something. I had learned to drive very, very early because
Mhm.
growing up around by CJ, vehicles in the yard, growing up around Reggie and Clement and them. So I learned to drive since about 1981, 82 thereabouts. But I did not go and do license not until about, let me see, I started in around 1997. And then I got frustrated. Because let me tell you, it's the same thing you're speaking about because I adopt the way that early time in my life driving. I already had the old habits, you should say, and then now I had to go back. When I'm going for that license, go up and do the test to do all what you're saying. So I just understand the point you're making. And I have to go and do this hand sign and yeah, and when I'm doing the crisscross of my hands on the steering, I have to fight and leave it on. With,
Crisscross.
yeah, but I mean, when you're a seasoned driver, you do that. What you do, you'll do.
Too much.
Yeah, that's how it is. Resting your hand on the window, that kind of thing. That,
So,
that,
but when I look at it on table, I'm like, I want to know exactly what the driving situation is. So that's something I'm going to stay silent when you explain it to me. But then there's certain things that. So here someone said, um, let me see what was the thing here. Uh, Sometimes not responding is a message, especially when someone is trying to provoke you or test your boundaries. There are times in your life when silence becomes your greatest strength, not because you don't have anything to say, but because you choose peace over proving a point. I've learned that not every battle is worth fighting, and not every question deserves an answer, especially when people are speaking from pain, pride, or misunderstanding. I've realized that silence can be a shield, a way to preserve your dignity and protect your energy. It's in those quiet moments that I've heard the loudest truths about who I am, what I value, and where I'm headed. Remaining silent doesn't mean you're weak or indifferent. Sometimes it's how you show wisdom, self control, and grace. In a noisy world that constantly demands a reaction, I'm learning that silence in a noisy world that constantly demands a reaction, I'm learning that silence, when chosen, is a powerful form of strength. I couldn't agree with that person more. And Mr. Snag said that. Sometimes it is the most powerful tool that is in your arsenal.
is that somebody's
Somebody's
country?
yes.
Yeah, that was well said.
Yes.
Yeah, because for a while I thought it was part of the research.
It is your most powerful item or your most powerful weapon in your arsenal. Because people expect you to always respond
Yeah.
when they do something to you or when they say something about you, when they say something to you. And me, I'm using me now. I've learned that my silence is golden.
Yeah.
I've learned that. And There is nothing, you can say whatever you want right now or do whatever you want. And I'm just going to smoke because I'm perfect smoking also.
Yeah.
Smoke and walk.
Being silent at time is very powerful. Very powerful.
And it says, doesn't make you a weak person.
Not
It
at all.
doesn't make you a person that doesn't feel that you could do anything. At least it gives you more power because no one knows of what you think. It doesn't make you lose grace, it says. It doesn't make you lose your wisdom. It just gives you more power to deal with whatever it is that is coming your way. Kudos to you, my friend.
That person's name should be mentioned, man.
That's NP.
Ah, wow.
Thank you so very much.
Really great contributions. Yes. Wow. You have it, kid.
And she says, remaining silent doesn't make you weak or indifferent. It is how you show wisdom, self-control, and grace. In a noisy world that is constantly demanding a reaction from you, I'm learning. That she said, I am learning that that silence, when chosen, is a powerful form of strength. And I say kudos to you on that. Because if many of us practice this or put it in our pipe and smoke it, the world is going to be
was well put
a better
together.
place.
Really and truly. That was really.
The world is going to be a better place when we learn to stay silent.
Mm.
Who wrote that song? The Sound of Silence. I know his name is coming to me, but I can't remember his name. But the sound of silence.
Okay. And please, the sun is shining ahead. I can have something to handle with. I can take on the rain falling this.
I can't remember who sang the Sound of Silence, but I always love that song, the Sound of Silence, because it is a powerful thing when you can remain silent. As Mr. Snack said that, and his great grandmother told him that everything that you hear, you gotta speak. So then you just let it drop. And in the words of Lucky Dube, if you have nothing good to say, just shut it. Shut it. Sometimes we want to be in the know, we want to be the person that brings it out. We want to let everybody know, oh, Claire said that, or I knew it first and I said it. It doesn't make sense because sometimes what you're saying is wrong. It is totally wrong. So, we're talking about when you're in the midst of a complainer and we got.
Oh, yeah, no.
Yeah, that's how we're going to end it. It says, in situations where you let complain, just let them complain and do not add to the negativity of it. It says, instead of creating a peaceful space where positive thoughts have a chance to flourish by remaining silent, we are not feeding into that negativity. It says, moreover, silence can also communicate that constant complaining isn't getting them anywhere. It breaks the reward cycle that can keep these negative behaviors going. And you always hear me saying, Jester, there are two types of complainers. Some complain because they need somebody to help them for what they're going through. Some complaints because we always listen to their complaints. So I choose not to listen to nobody complaining if they don't want help. Just keep complaining and let your life go wherever it is. Someone wrote, sometimes your signals are not working. Over here it is required. What signal? Signals are not working.
Your signal?
I don't know which signal is the signal on the YouTube or is the signal of silence. I don't know which one. Tell us what signals that are not working all of that. And then we'll try to fix it. And maybe it's a YouTube thing that is doing that. So here's the other one. Another time to stay silent is when you're tempted to gossip. It says, oh, thank you so much. It's Simon and Garfunkel. I knew the name of those people. They sing the song of silence. Thank you so very much. Love that song. So gossiping can seem like harmless fun. It is an easy way to bond with others and can feel satisfying in the moment. But there is the catch. Participating in gossip can actually have negative effects on your relationship and reputation. Gossips often creates an atmosphere of mistrust and can harm the subject of gossip, even if they never find out about it. Moreover, those who you gossip with may start to question your trustworthiness, wondering if they might be your next topic of conversation. By choosing to remain silent, you're taking the high road. You're showing respect, not just for the person being talked about, but also for your own integrity. And that is true. If you gossip about me today, Jester, tomorrow might be somebody
Of
else.
course.
So if somebody sounds
The person you gossip with today, they might be gossiping with somebody else.
tomorrow and adding more to
But
the story of the gossip that you gave, you might say, Jester head big as the bowling ball, then they go put the other big hole in the middle of his head, which I didn't say at all. So when you hear gossip, you add to it and you stretch it because you want to be the person in the know, the person that talks about it, the person that brings it out. So I don't get me wrong, we all gossip at sometimes in our lives, all. But the thing is to get to the place where you can do without it.
do we have a car?
No, we don't have a call.
Okay.
You can get to the place where you can do without the gossiping. If you're going to say something to somebody, say it straight up to them. Just hit it, deal with it, and move along. When you gossip, it leaves a lasting impression on you because sometimes you're not. Sometimes you are not right.
What are you laughing, Clay?
You're looking for the bottle don't make anymore. You want a big smoothie? What's wrong with you? Here's the next one. Another time to stay silent is when your words may hurt someone. We have all had moments where we're upset, frustrated, or hurt, and we all want to lash out. But here's the thing: once spoken words cannot be taken back. Once spoken words cannot be taken back.
Who have a song that you could point in relation to that?
Once words cannot be taken back. Once you speak it.
Yeah, like for that to apply to that situation.
I don't know. Tell me.
Share.
Oh, if I could turn back time. If I can find your way. That's when she's shooting on Jesse James.
I don't know why I said it.
You know what? I mean, yes.
Words.
To turn back to
Yeah.
whatever weapon they kill you sometimes. Yes, that's true. Chelsea in that song. So yes, it says they linger in the air, in the mind, and in the heart long after they have been said. And often they can hurt more than we ever intended. Our words carry immense power, the power to build up and the power to tear down. And sometimes the most powerful thing we can do is choose not to use them. Silence in these moments doesn't mean suppression. It means giving yourself space to process your emotions and respond rather than react. It's choosing kindness over the satisfaction of a cutting remark. That's another powerful paragraph, Jester. When words can hurt someone. Because as it says, once spoken, it cannot be taken back.
Yeah.
And it has long-lasting effects on the person that you see. Like somebody accused me of a thief, right?
Mhm.
Being a thief. I know in my heart of hearts, I've never stolen anything from anybody. Everything that I have, I work for it, or somebody may have given it to me as a gift. But stealing is not something that I ever thought about doing in any way or form. And that I tell you, even though I know it's not true, it has a lasting effect on me.
You see,
It does because it's who you said it to and who believed it over what they know is truth.
I'm telling you seriously. You two person might end up in a fight, a scuffle, a quarrel. For me, it's easier to forgive somebody that like you fight and that you make up that thing. But it's not easy for somebody to accuse me of this this sort of character assassination and for me to forgive them easily. Serious. No. Trust me. You chop me, I forgive you quicker than you accusing me of stealing your stuff and everything, and I'm not tell you, serious.
But you see, and let me tell you something, Justin.
So I don't know how you deal with this. This is your situation.
Yeah,
But
I
me,
understand. That's like
I don't making joke with that. And people, nah.
Like I said, in my heart of hearts, and Justin, you know me, I cannot see how I'm going to start to steal things from people because I'm not a thief for one. But it says in the Bible that you can forgive and forget. I am not at that place yet where I can forget about it. I'm not at that place yet. I forgive the individual because I would not let it destroy me. But when I reach at that place where I can forget it, I'll be 100% A-okay. I still go to bed and sleep peacefully because I know in my heart of hearts, I never touched anybody's money or steal anything from anyone. But just the fact that you can come up with that I did that, and people may see me, and according to people with my true self, walking the street or with my posh self, as they call me, walking the streets and say, look at her. Don't worry, she playing this way, but she steal people's money. Or you understand what I'm trying to that, right?
That is not a nice thing. No,
It
no,
is
I'm telling you,
not.
it's really not a nice thing.
And I decided to stay silent on it, Jester. I decided that I'm going to stay silent to the individual that said that. I have nothing to say. Because if isn't what you're looking for is for me to come to you and say, well, why did you say that and you know that is not true? You're going to build a bridge and get over that or call on it and just bite me when it comes to that one. I'm not doing it. So I'm staying silent. I never to be hallowed. And as NP says, it doesn't make me weak.
Yeah.
And it does not make me indifferent. It just made me use my wisdom and my self-control to remain silent and strong. That's how I see it. Next one. When another time to remain silent, when someone else needs the spotlight. It says everyone has stories to share, experiences to recount, and opinions to express. But these are times when the greatest gift we can offer is to step back and let someone else take center stage. Maybe it's a friend sharing the exciting news, a colleague presenting their hard work, or a loved one opening up about their struggles. In these moments, the silence is a gift to them. Choosing to remain silent allows the voice to be heard, the joy to be celebrated, and the pain to be acknowledged. It's a way of saying, I see you. This is your moment. So sometimes just when things are going well with someone and you're a friend of theirs, and they get the moment to be in the spotlight, cheer them on by remaining silent and let them have their moment. By you stepping in or me stepping in and saying something on while you're there, that is taken away. That is still in your thunder. It does the moment is no longer special to that person. What you can do is to give them all the love and all the support that you can give and say to them, I see you. I hear you. This is your moment. Shine. And if every one of us, most of us can do that, we'll have so much better, how you call it again? Or better ways to uplift each other and to give each other the boost. Because some of us just have things to say and things to do, but we're afraid of saying it or doing it because we do not feel the confidence that someone else is going to be, someone else have their backs, as they say. I've got your back. That's when saying, I see you, I hear you. This is your moment. This is when I'm saying, I've got your back. Just to go for it. You can do it.
Sure.
All of that he says, it is nice to keep silent. Being silent makes you a better person. Kudos to you on that one too. It does. Because everybody do not always have to hear your mouth going a mile a minute because you feel that you know something. But silence is golden. The final thought, embrace the quiet. Silence is a powerful tool that's often overlooked in our fast-paced communication-driven world. But it's in these quiet moments that we can truly listen, reflect, and understand both ourselves and others. The renowned French philosopher Blaise Pascal once said, all of humanity's problems stem from man's inability to sit quiet in a room alone. This statement rings true centuries later as we continually grapple with the noise and distractions of modern life. Psychology affirms The power of silence in various situations, during arguments, while listening, when faced with uncertainty, in new environments, and even when silence itself is the message. Did you get that, Jester?
No,
I'm going to read it again.
for
This is
sure.
our final thought. Silence is a powerful tool that's often overlooked in our fast-paced, communication-driven world. But it's these quiet moments that we can really, in these quiet moments that we can truly listen, reflect, and understand both ourselves and others. The renowned French philosopher Blaise Pascal once said, all of humanity's problems stems from man's inability to sit quietly in a room alone. This statement rings true centuries later as we continually grapple with the noise and distractions of modern life. Psychology affirms the power of silence in various situations, during arguments, while listening, when faced with uncertainty, in new environments, and even when silence itself is the message.
Yep.
Because Jester, and people that in a thing too,
Mm-hmm.
we live in a noisy world. And with all the noise that is going around us, we tend to lose what it means to be silent. You always say to me, oh, you're inside that house again, I'm coming inside that house 24/7. This here is my silent sanctuary. I can be anywhere inside here and be at peace with myself in my Zen moment. I get to think things aloud, silently, peacefully, and all. When we create that space, just when we create that space that we can find ourselves in all the noise around us, you are more powerful. This is when silence itself is the message that you receive. And let me say thank you to you, Jester, for joining another day of mental health. And you see the topics that we come up with, how it affects us on a daily basis. So it makes us to think differently, to do things differently, to even drive differently when you laugh at the fools that are trying to to overtake you and you feel
They're doing the wrong thing that they and they still want to cause
this is
I don't just laugh these days. I'm telling you, I'm just laughing, man. The thing.
thank you to all of who came on the live and listened to us and made a contribution. Thank you to Lorna, to Mr. Snag, to NP, to everybody that made this program what it is today. And continue to listen because every week we come up with different things. We try to find things that will make us tick and learn a thing or two from it. And as Simon and Garfunkel says, the sound of silence. The sound of silence. This is how we're going to end it with the sound of silence. Thank you all and have yourselves a great day. Don't do anything that you wouldn't do and stay on the safe side because the world is a crazy place right now with all that is going on. Be attentive, pay attention to what's going on around you. Stay safe.
Well, yeah, I think the CPA results have been
It's out.
released.
Did your son?
This morning. Yes.
He came through.
Yeah,
Well, congratulations, Papa.
he will be going to McDonald
Yes,
College.
great. I'm very happy to hear that.
Yeah. So to all the students that are about to embark on a new journey in the academic skills, look, they're trying to what they are trying to achieve. We wish them very well, Claire, in their endeavors. I know it's a time for parents. You have to band the belly because they gotta find the money. Going to school these days is not an easy thing. You have to
And as we spoke to,
uniforms, this blah blah blah. Graduation. It's pretty.
it's a tough thing. It's a very
It's not
expensive endeavor.
very expensive because imagine, look, they had to come up from I did the exercise of doing graduation, which could average in sometime around $500 just right? And then still after that, you have to go do registration. You gotta start thinking about uniform, books. Well,
And just the point you
so
made
I
about
think so.
Miss Salazar,
Yeah.
I wish and I hope that it open two or three schools for the children not academically inclined and have the tendency to be skilled people that they can go to those special places because we need plumbers, we need electricians, we
But you
need
have neuro there, so it's
well,
not
neuro
like
is
a
not,
test
yeah, but neuro cannot solve
the entire nation.
no, we need to get out of it. I just
But
said we don't have
but I
enough
must say, Claire,
resources.
in recent times, quite a lot of the school have become a much more diversified institution, meaning that they are providing now for things like woodwork, culinary arts, and yeah. So yeah.
Can go to a specialized place where they can be the real person is what they want to be, have this certified and everything, and they can get jobs anywhere they feel like, whether they Grenada or whether they travel. This is what I'm really hoping for. So thank you again, Jester, and we shall see. You get
I
smooth.
just want to make mention of one thing, Claire. I don't know you might have to see that had to be paid for, but
Yeah, everything and everything is the same
because the National Sports Council on Friday last they launched the upcoming holiday recreation program, right, which will be running from the 7th of July
for your
to the
children.
yes. So what the intention of the Sports Council, right, is to already support, right, what has been happening already before. So it's not really to sideline anybody that was involved in it. It's more or less supporting stuff, yeah, for that what have been existing already as far as programs that were run during the summer vacation for the children. So yeah, so and I know that you will have a number of incentive for the children and things like you will have things like backpacks and look into for refreshment more along fruits and so all we can say yeah.
When are they
So
coming to
that's something.
Texas?
Well, this thing will start. It started on the 7th, and it will be island wide. So I guess on what you will have some from yeah. So, right? Good. I know, I know. You're a real strong advocate for that. Yeah, I understand.
All right, so later.
So long.
Yeah, just take your best.
Yeah, because everything will give me smoothie, man. I hope you have more there.
Up, it's a brand new day. Got some things I need to say. Feeling heavy, you're not alone. Come take five, you're in the zone. Voices come, hearts that care. Two good friends always there. Let the sunlight in your mind. Peace and hope you're sure to find. I'll take CJ and Jester. Talking truth and pressure. Every Tuesday, 10 to noon, we're holding space just for you. Take a breath, take your time. We're here to read your mind. Take five, you're not alone. See, they and just bring you home. It's okay to not be okay. Let's talk it out, don't drift away. Mental health and matters most, so come in close and raise a toast to the ones who fight. To the silent words they never say. You're strong, you're seen, you're truly heard. We got your back, you got our word.